Corporal Carver Fairbank reporting in. I'd appreciate it if you were to rate our podcast so I can steel myself and make it through whatever situations my companions subject me to here. This place is a little different from Marvuna. Thanks ever so much.
A podcast by the Intergalactic Improv Initiative. Ride of the Valkyrie, Minisode 5. Welcome to the Citadel. Featuring the voices of Leah Ryan and creator Kaya Renwick. My matriarch always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. I should roll. March 14th, 2184. Terran Universal Coordinated Calendar. Widow System, Serpent Nebula. MSV Valkyrie. Cockpit. Okay, Bean, you have just jumped the Valkyrie into the Serpent Nebula. You are surrounded by gorgeous purple nebulous gases. There are so many ships. Innumerable ships from every species across the entire galaxy are in some of them are in orderly queues coming from the mass relay towards where you know the Citadel is. You can't see it quite yet. It's a little bit across the nebula. You'll be there soon. What brings you to the Citadel?
I am looking for someone.
Looking for someone? That sounds exciting. Well, we'll find out more about that soon. What are you most interested by as you look out? Either you look at the long-range scans of the Valkyrie, or maybe you have a window that you're looking out at. What are you most interested in?
Honestly, the vast number of ships that are all probably better quality than mine for the most part. I think Bean's very familiar with scrap yards, very familiar with resale ships,
sure,
the thrift store version, and so seeing so many that are just nice and shiny, and all the paint is from the same manufacturer. That's crazy to be absolutely mind-blowing. And then the parts, don't get them started on the parts. Oh.
As you approach the Citadel, one of the last ships you notice before the space station will undoubtedly pull your attention is the Destiny Ascension. The huge ship was damaged in the Battle of the Citadel, but not destroyed. And they're working on it. There's a million little shuttles flying around this massive sort of four-armed starfish shape, the flagship of the Citadel fleet.
Oh, shut up. That's so cool.
As you come around, you continue on in the queue from the relay. Was this your first trip through a relay, by the way? Or how long has it been since you left Invictus?
I did a couple test jumps after I left Invictus, and I've been through, I must say, like 3 relays.
Okay.
2 were tester, 1 was experimental, but mostly I do kind of hang on the outer rim. I think Bean is maybe anxious. Like they're getting the tummy gurgles a little bit.
Fair enough.
Citadel, but it's something that it's been on their list for a really long time. It's something that they want to do.
Yeah, that's great. So as the Valkyrie passes the Destiny Ascension, the monumental space station comes into view. Its 5 massive arms stretching through the purple gases of the nebula. It is wreathed in traffic. All of those ships, well, most of those ships are headed to the Citadel. Some are headed out of system to Beckenstein, but most of them are headed to the Citadel. This home system where over 12 million people of all species live. The Valkyrie swoops in on its cue. I don't think the Valkyrie is special enough to get a personalized greeting from Citadel Control. This is just civilian traffic.
I feel like if they did get a specialized greeting, it's not intentional. It's not like, look at that shit. It's like, look at that piece of shit.
Bokdret Ward, Merchant District Alpha, Public Dock K45.
So you're assigned a dock. You were assigned a dock in Bokdret Ward, and Citadel Control VI gives your Valkyrie VI autopilot the coordinates. And you ease on in. And you can see as you fly by the remains of after the Battle of the Citadel.
Oh, spirits.
Several months ago. Yeah, it's could be worse. They've obviously been doing a lot of rebuilding, but there are some sections that are pretty beat up, pretty broken. There's some swaths of the various wards that are still dark.
I imagine the parts that are being repaired, or do they just have a bunch of keepers going crazy on them?
Well, you wouldn't be able to tell from this far up.
Fair enough.
But probably, yes.
Love the idea of one of them just losing its
dungeon
mind.
fixers from Dungeon Meshy.
Yes.
Yeah. The Valkyrie pulls into dock in Bokdret Ward, and the Mass Effect docking clamps gently latch on to the hull. I imagine there's a bit of a shudder that runs through the ship as the Valkyrie is a little bit more rickety than maybe most of the ships that come to the Citadel.
Oh yeah.
This is it. You're docked. What do you do?
Oh, spirits, we're here. And it's real big. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we're gonna go outside. And I say that out loud. And I'm just sitting in my chair. Like I have not moved.
Okay, good. Outside your front windscreen, your viewport, you see a bustling dock. This is a civilian dock. There's lots of other ships here. You see lots of other people. Lots of humans, Turians, Batarians, Asari.
Bean is probably used to, like, their nearest neighbor being someone that's like they have to walk a good distance and step through a stream to like get to their yard, which they do a lot, but it's not exactly like you see 10 people in a cluster. So seeing this many people on the Citadel the first time, there's definitely a moment of, oh god, I've really messed up. It's a lot of people. It's not that they're different alien. I don't think that
it's just a lot of people
really phases them.
The sheer number. Yeah.
It's just the amount. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. Because Invictus is a Turian world, and it is a Dextra world, so most of the people there are Turians. But I mean, it does see tourism. So it's not unfathomable that Bean would have seen people of other species. And certainly if they've been doing, trips around the Outer Rim, they would have seen.
It's not Invictus was probably mostly Turian, but I think my headcanon, and Kaya, please let me know how accurate this is probably that there's a lot of weirdos that go to the Outer Rim. So not so much on Invictus, but when they went to other places that were super remote, I think that attracts a lot of different weird people from different species.
Oh yeah. As soon as you get into the terminus, right, the non-council space, that's where all the non-council folks hang out. So yeah, there's plenty of weirdos out there for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So does Bean brave the Citadel, or is the Minisode staying on the Valkyrie?
That would be so fun. Hey guys, this whole episode is just this the end. No, they're gonna
some introspection on the
They're gonna do like a squeeze your eyes really tight, count to 3, and okay, and we're standing and we're forcing ourselves to walk steps forward. Okay, don't stop. We're moving, and we're outside. Oh my god, we did it.
Okay, as you I imagine you wait very nervously as your airlock goes through the decontamination cycle. And then you step out onto the Citadel, and you thought it was big before? Holy fuck. Spirits on high. Spirits preserve us. This place. It's like, so you, from where you're standing on Bakhtret Ward, you can see the ward stretching out in either side. And you know that somewhere above your head and over in the circle, in the circle of the ward arms, there are other ward arms out there. And every once in a while, you think you can catch a glimpse of these huge. It looks like you're looking at the surface of another planet across the nebula. But even from where you're standing, you see skyscrapers upon skyscrapers just stretching out as far as the eye can see, and little like sky cars flitting between them. And in the big space in the open center of the station, there's that queue of ships that you came in on. They're still coming. There's cruisers. You're pretty sure you see a dreadnought. There's more frigates than you can count, and forget about counting the fighters. And that's not even touching on the merchant ships. And then if you tear your eyes away from the vista beyond, I'm not sure you've seen this many people in one place in your entire life. And this is just the docks.
Yeah. I think it's probably one of the biggest moments for them, if not the biggest moment in their entire life, where they're just standing in one spot, immensely aware of exactly how small they are.
Yeah.
And not even on, like, a size level, but on every level. Power, influence, control over what happens to them. Like, there's so much going on, and that's so much for them to process in this moment.
Yeah.
And also, it's so beautiful, and there's so much going on to admire and be amazed by. I think it's probably just an absolute cascade of every emotion.
Yeah, for sure. So from here, you could walk along the docks. You also see a big sign sort of at a little bit away. You'd have to go down your docking platform and then past a couple other ships, and you see a big sign that says, like, CSEC Customs. Okay. And it's flashing in Asari, in Venian, so in Turian, and so one of the times around you catch it, it's like, oh, hey, that's presumably where you would need to go next.
Okay. Sure. I'm gonna start off in that direction.
Okay. As you go, nobody pays you any mind. People maybe glance as you go by, but you're just one more person on a station of millions.
Oh, Bean is absolutely faux pas, like, waving and, like saying hello to everybody that they pass. Because they're used to small towns where you do that. And so I'm sure multiple people on their way are, like, giving them, like, the what why?
Oh yeah. The first person you do it to is startled to the degree, like, they're a little scared, and then they're like, what it, and they sort of cautiously say hello back, and then realize, no, they don't actually know who you are, and sort of awkwardly excuse themselves and leave. And then the next person who maybe, like, saw you do this to somebody else, they immediately were like, what is wrong with you? You get at least one person who gives you a nice friendly hello back, but isn't really interested in talking. And a lot of people just kind of, like, look at you funny and go, what? That is not how this works here. But you do get a few people who are friendly enough, who, at least smile and wave back. You share an elevator with an Asari and a human, neither of whom pays you any mind. The human is deep in something on his Omni tool. The Asari is daydreaming about something or other.
I think they're definitely, the people that do, great. they're definitely a little bit humbled by the time they get into the elevator, and maybe just sizing people up a little bit more before they wave now. Because they're
Sure.
like, are you going to be nice
Sure.
to me if I do the thing? Or is this going to be weird? I don't know.
Do you try to say anything to the Asari and the human in the elevator?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you say, and who do you speak to?
I'm just going to I'm going to address the room, which is small. It's my first time on the Citadel. How are y'all doing?
Yeah, the human just grunts. The Asari looks over from her daydreaming and smiles very benevolently and says, "Oh, that's sweet. I hope you have a lovely time, dear."
Thanks. You too. Where are y'all headed to? Huh?
The human is completely ignoring you. The Asari continues smiling and says, "Well, I'm on my way to see my daughter if she'll give me the time of day, but we'll see about that."
Oh, well, I'm sure she will. And I hope it's a great time.
Why, thank you. And what brings you to the Citadel for the first time?
Oh, I'm looking for someone. It's a sort of a friend of a friend situation. I haven't actually met them, but I don't know. I'm just following a hunch, I guess.
Ah, well, if you ever need help, you can always ask Avina. She's very helpful.
Oh, okay.
You're kind of getting the vibe of, like, slightly, like, grandmotherly vibe off this Asari, who's, and as she mentions Avina, the human, like, sort of snorts, but still doesn't engage with the conversation.
Okay. Avina, is she nice? I'm guessing. Is she?
Oh, she's very, very pleasant. That's her over there now, as the doors open. And you see there's the CSEC Customs desk with a very long line, and then a little bit sort of across the way is the purple feminine hologram. Looks a little bit like an Asari. You can't quite tell from here just because she's sort of glittering and flickering from all the way over there. But that's who the Asari points to.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. You've been, honestly, the nicest person I've met yet, so nice to meet you.
You have a lovely visit, dear. And she steps out and disappears into the crowd.
Say hi to your daughter for me. A turn.
Okay, what are you doing? You've got Avina, you've got the CSEC line.
I'm gonna take one look at the line and go, nope, and I'm going to Avina. Plus, my friend, my only friend on the Citadel, gave me Avina's stamp of approval. So, we're in.
As you approach the hologram, you see it is an Asari hologram. Yeah, as you walk up. Welcome to the Presidium. Allow me to be your guide.
Boy, will I. Thank you so much for welcoming me. I'm Bean.
My name is Avina. I am pleased to be your guide throughout this level of the Citadel.
Oh, that's sure relief. So, thank you so much, Avina. I am looking for someone, and I really don't know anybody here, and I was just hoping you could help me find them.
I can tell you about the attractions on this level of the space station. I can also put you in contact with Citadel security.
Well, would they know where my friend is, or is that...
Unknown.
Oh. You're like Vi. And Bean's kind of finally putting it together that they're not really talking to an actual person. Okay. Yeah, is there any attraction here, that is really popular for, like, Quarians? Avina, did I break you?
No, I'm just thinking. Thinking how Avina would address this in 2184.
While Quarians are welcome on the Citadel, very few register with Citadel security. Most Quarians are considered itinerants.
Avina, what is an itinerant?
An itinerant is a person with no fixed address. and who is not considered a citizen of Citadel space.
Okay. Is there a place where, like, itinerants hang out together?
That information is not within the scope of this virtual intelligence.
Okay. Thanks, Avina. Bean is realizing extremely quickly how little information they have to go off of this person that they're seeking.
As they're stuttering, I'd like you to make me a quick little perception check if you have dice handy.
I would love to. I do. Well done. 14.
Okay, that's enough. You notice out of the corner of your eye a Turian, a male Turian. He's over, like... So there's the CSEC Customs desk, and there's a Vina. And further on, down sort of like the walkway, there's sort of like a little alley. And you catch this guy leaning out, and he motions to you with a talon and beckons you towards him.
Bean kind of puts one hand on their chest, like, who? Me? Me?
He nods and beckons again.
Okay, sorry, Avina, to cut this short, but I'll be right back. And I kind of shuffle off towards this alleyway. Can I do a quick secondary perception on the safety levels of this alleyway?
Would you like to do an insight check?
I sure would. Okay, it is not as I was like. It would be so canon for Bean to roll a 1 here. It is a 12 plus my insight, so it is a 16.
Okay. So one of the first things that you've noticed here, so Invictus is a jungle world. It's a nasty world. Everything is out to get you on Invictus. You are constantly hacking back nasty vegetation, and that's to say nothing of the predators that live in the jungles of Invictus. The Citadel is sparkling clean. You've probably seen over 100 people here in the last 10 minutes. Probably more than that, maybe even like 200. There's no trash anywhere. There's no dirt. There's nothing. This station is 100% clean. Even the back alley as you come in is pretty well lit. It's open to the sky. Yeah, it's a back alley and it has like entrances into the backs of these buildings, but it's clean. The guy who's beckoning you in, he's wearing a hard suit. It's not marked with anything. It looks like it fits him well. It's maybe got a couple of modded pieces. Like, he knows what he's doing. He has no markings, though. So there's that.
Oh. Is that... quick Turian question. Is that rare?
It's not a great sign. So, Turians, their markings are their clan affiliation. And so whatever clan you're born into, when you come of age, it's young school age, Turian parents will opt to have whichever clan, so they've two separate clans, the mother's clan, the father's clan. You'll have your markings tattooed. When you bond with someone, you can choose to add some of their markings to yours if you so wish. And most they wear with time, and so they you get them reapplied every decade or two or whatever. Otherwise, you keep them touched up with paint for special occasions. People who don't have markings are known as barefaced. That's the epithet that gets leveled at them. It's not a particularly nice thing to call someone. That gets leveled at unscrupulous politicians, or people who just in general can't be trusted, because if you don't have markings, that means you either didn't get them, or you've taken them off, or you've had them taken off. And yes, you would definitely know this, because that is common knowledge for a Turian.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's ranging from, like, you can't tell where they're from, and there's, like, a little bit of mystery to that, because I guess if you are familiar with their family's markings, you would have an insight immediately upon seeing them what their history is.
Also, so in Kaya canon, the markings mean things.
Ooh, yeah.
And so there's a whole the Turian marking calligraphy art. And so if you are not wearing markings, then you have no honor, which is a huge thing in Turian society, because you have no respect or honor for your family. Either that has been taken away from you because of whatever you did, or you have chosen to shed it and not to communicate to anyone your affiliation or your loyalties.
Watch this guy just be, like, adopted by a non-Turian family or something.
Well, you'd have to be adopted quite young. So we're talking, like, below the age of 5 or 6. And that would be, like a war situation where, like, they wouldn't know that...
Sure.
At some point, your kid probably needs markings.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this is going to go poorly for them.
Okay, so it's not super likely that, like, there's a great reason why he's barefaced.
It's not likely, but depending on, how gracious Bean is, I don't know how Bean would respond to that.
I don't think that they would be hostile about it. I think they would probably notice it, and it's like when somebody has, like, you don't make it obvious that you're noticing it. You're
sure
kind of just being polite about it.
Yeah. As you come into the alley, he backs up so that you can come in. His subvocals are calm and confident. This is a guy, he's probably, like, in his 30s, maybe late 30s. And he says, "First time on the Citadel?"
Yeah, how'd you know?
"Oh, I can spot a newcomer a mile away. You're from Invictus, aren't you?"
"Yeah, you been?"
"Oh, a couple times. I love the Kikenre jungles.
Oh,
great hunting."
"Yeah, absolutely. And they're gorgeous, too. So I'm glad that you see the value there."
"Yeah, absolutely. So what brings you to the Citadel?"
I'm looking for someone. I think they might be an inhabate person. I'm just following a lead. They're Quarian. They dealt with some Turians on Invictus. Which honestly is all I really know. So if you happen to know any Quarians that have been through Invictus, I'd really appreciate it if you let me know.
Quarians aren't exactly common on the Citadel.
Yeah, that's kind of why I thought they'd be easier to find.
Well, they tend to hide in the lower levels of the wards. They're not particularly kindly seen here. Most people think they're thieves, So.
Really? That seems unfounded, but okay. Cool.
He kind of cocks his head. He says, "Their entire species lives on a fleet that goes from system to system begging for resources. I think it's plenty founded if you ask me."
I mean, my ship's made of scrap too, so I'm not really one to judge on that matter, but I get...
Ah, well, fair enough. We all gotta get by in this world, don't we? Now, that said, I know my back way around the Citadel. I bet you it could help you find your Quarian friend.
That would mean so much to me, if you could. Thank you for... I don't assume it's generosity. What would you want for that?
Oh, well, let's call it a favor the first go-round. Anything for a fellow Turian, right? That's how this works.
Can I insight check this? Leah...
Of course you can!
Leah wants to aggressively... Bean wants to at least a little bit. Oh my god. Oh gosh. Okay, 17.
Okay. His subvocals are just so open and inviting. Like, he got a little bit of a vibe when he was like, you don't know that all Quarians are, what's wrong with you? But then he's like, no, you know what? You're from Invictus. This is just how this goes. You just haven't seen the world. It's all fine. It's all fine. And so, as far as you can tell, he's being honest, but you can't tell what he wants.
Okay. I kind of consciously, like, in the same way when people are stressed, their shoulders hunch, like, that version of, like, consciously lowering my shoulders, but also consciously, like, turning the dial on my sub-vocals to match his and not be just, like, a high-pitched whine.
Okay. I am going to need a resolve roll for that, because that's actually really hard to do.
Okay.
Subvocal communication is mainly unconscious emotional communication, and it takes a lot of self-control to communicate anything other than what you're actually feeling.
Fair.
In subvocals.
Fair enough. Okay. It is a 13.
Okay. You mostly manage it. There's a couple of wobbles, and I think you hope that he just counts it as, you know, nerves.
Absolutely.
From first time on the Citadel.
And
right?
Bean is nervous,
big, scary
so
place.
it would absolutely track.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
Okay, well, he ushers you down the alley and says, right this way, and points you towards a door at the back of the alley.
Is he, I assume, like, stepping aside for me to walk in front of him?
Yeah, and then he's moving, he would move to walk behind you.
Okay. God. Leah is stressed, but Bean trusts this guy, so it's fine. I let him walk behind me.
Okay. You guys come up to this door, and he opens up his Omni tool and dashes it forward, and the orange turns to green and opens up into what's pretty clearly a maintenance corridor. And as you guys continue down, the lights get dimmer and darker, and we're gonna keep going until he changes things up, unless you want to change something.
I think Bean is probably just the whole time we're in here babbling about, like, because the Citadel itself is so big. I don't think that they have much to say about the I mean, obviously it's insane to them that some species so long ago built this. Like, that concept of building something this immense is insane to them. But in this more confined corridor, where there's wires, where there's things that open, where there's things that they recognize, like, this makes a lot more sense to them. So they're just commenting on the machinery that they're seeing in this maintenance corridor.
Fair enough. Okay, as you continue, I'm gonna get you to do another perception check, please.
Okay. Oh, fuck yeah! Natural 20, baby!
You hear, just before, in a brief break in your babbling, in Bean's babbling, you hear the faintest little sob, as if it's coming through a filter of some sort from around the next corner. You're about, I'm gonna say, maybe 15 feet from the corner in the maintenance corridor.
Oh my god. They're gonna absolutely freeze in their tracks and just go real quiet. Did you hear that?
Is there a problem?
I didn't say there was a problem. I asked if you heard that.
I didn't hear anything.
And it's quieter because we're not talking. Is the sob continuing, or was it just for that second?
It is silent.
Oof. I want to prepare. Like, I'm not casting, but I want to prepare stasis while I'm walking.
Okay.
And
what are you armored or not?
Kaya, what do you think Bean is?
I gotta ask.
I know. This is I feel like in the actual campaign, Bean learned their lesson, but this is before then, right? So I don't know that they would have learned the lesson yet. They're probably just in their little jacket and being a little guy.
Okay.
Oh, I'm hating here.
Okay. Do you go forward around the corner?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, they're probably concerned that somebody's hurt and needs help. Their guard is definitely on. I definitely think they have a blaster on their hip. That, like, maybe they have one hand on their blaster, like, as subtly as one can put their hand on a gun, and just the other hand preparing stasis, just in case.
Okay. Okay.
But, I mean, they're trying not to showcase that they're noticing what they're noticing.
Okay.
As they move forward.
As Bean comes up and around the corner, they see first. So the corridor's gotten considerably darker. It's not dark, but it's definitely dim. And so for just a second, the bright orange flare of light is a little disorienting. And by the time Bean registers that it's 3 sets of omnicuffs on 3 Quarians who have been cuffed to a pipe, they also feel the barrel of a gun at the back of their head.
You have been listening to I Should Roll, Ride of the Valkyrie, Minisode 5. Welcome to the Citadel. Featuring the voices of Leah Ryan as Bean Gainian, and Kaya Renwick as everyone and everything else. Music and sound effects are used under Creative Commons and royalty-free licenses. For the extended credits, please see the show notes. And for more information, please visit ishouldroll.com. Find us everywhere on social media at I Should Roll, and don't forget to leave us a review. I Should Roll is an Intergalactic Improv Initiative production. This fan podcast is a transformative work and is not affiliated with Electronic Arts or BioWare. Thank you for listening. Have a pleasant day.
Good day. You can call me Cypher. This message will self-destruct in 30 seconds, but I just thought you might like to know that you have a terribly interesting extranet search history. So interesting, in fact, that I do believe certain official parties might like to take a look. If you don't want that to happen, I strongly suggest you leave a review for the podcast you just listened to. I'm sure we understand each other.